Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. My name is Matt. I know this podcast is quite new, but some of you have been following along for a while now. As you may have noticed, the narrator has changed a couple of times already in just a few months. The truth is, the podcast has been growing extremely slow, and basically nobody has left us any reviews so far. I'm here as the new voice of the podcast and would love to stick around, but I need your support to do so. Please, if you enjoy our content, it would mean so much to us if you could just leave us a review on whichever podcast platform you use. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. Tonight, you are invited to embark on a gentle journey of rest and tranquility. As you settle in, feel the weight of the day melt away from your shoulders, and notice each breath becoming slower and more soothing. Allow yourself this moment of calm, this tender pause between waking and sleeping, while you drift into the comforting embrace of a dreamlike tale. In just a few heartbeats, you will be carried to Zion National Park on a peaceful Independence Day evening, a place where the sky stretches wide and the earth stands still in quiet wonder. Here, under moonlight and the soft hush of nighttime breezes, your mind can roam free and find stillness. For now, close your eyes or let them rest gently on whatever is before you. Breathe in deeply. Feel your lungs expand with air that is cool and comforting. Breathe out slowly, releasing any tension clinging to your muscles. You may notice your body starting to sink into the bed or chair, a delicious heaviness pulling you down into deeper and deeper relaxation. Time feels as though it is slowing, each second stretching out like gentle waves lapping at a quiet shore. Focus on that soothing rhythm of breath as you continue to relax, your limbs becoming lighter, mind becoming calmer. The upcoming story is yours to simply observe. No need to try too hard or follow every word. Instead, let the images come and go, as if they are soft clouds drifting across a wide summer sky. Your journey begins with the hush of a desert night, a star-swept canopy above, and the scent of juniper and wild sage in the air. You are invited to explore the magic of a 4th of July evening in Zion. Beyond the gentle crackle of distant campfires, the land breathes in timeless serenity. This is a story about the harmony of nature and a quiet sense of celebration that twinkles among the stars. Let your breathing remain slow and kind to your body, allowing you to linger in this restful space. And now, let us seamlessly slip into the story, where a traveler, not you directly, experiences every peaceful wonder that Zion has to offer. They arrived in Zion National Park late in the afternoon, just as the sun was leaning westward in the sky. A warm, golden hue stretched across the sandstone cliffs, turning them into lofty guardians dressed in molten sunlight. Shadows clung to every crevice of the ancient rock, deepening the red and amber tones until they seemed to smolder like glowing embers. Every so often, a whisper of wind carried the gentle rush of the Virgin River, winding its way through canyons carved by centuries of geological artistry. The traveler parked their car and stepped onto the dry earth, feeling a subtle crunch of gravel beneath their feet. The horizon stretched overhead, broad and limitless, as a silent promise of calm. Gently, they walked through the designated trails, noticing how the angled sunlight softened the edges of distant peaks. The holiday atmosphere, though present, was serene in this protected land. Far from the bustle of city celebrations and fireworks displays, Zion's quiet heart beat steadily beneath the wide desert sky. Occasionally, they passed other visitors, families or couples, sharing hushed greetings, their voices low in respect for the sacred hush. Each step led them into a deeper sense of peace, as though the very ground beneath their feet was inviting them to slow down, to breathe more gently, and to savor the gentle evening air. A hush descended over the canyons as dusk began to slip gently across the landscape. Soft pink skies turned lavender, and then twilight crept in, spilling cool blues over the red rock walls. The traveler found a secluded spot, a small clearing near the river's edge, where cottonwood trees stood tall, their leaves rustling like faint applause. Leaning against the trunk of a sturdy cottonwood, they listened to the hush of the river and let the day's warmth dissolve into the cooling night air. Stars began to prickle faintly overhead, timid at first, but growing bolder with every passing minute. Up above, the sky stretched into an indigo sea, dotted with constellations that seemed to shimmer and dance. The traveler remembered hearing about Zion's dedication to preserving its night skies, where light pollution is minimized and starlight is allowed to reign. Here, in this near pristine darkness, the stars gleamed like tiny lanterns guiding a cosmic celebration. The day's holiday significance, Independence Day, felt subtly woven into the grand tapestry of nature. Though in towns and cities beyond the park's borders, fireworks likely splashed color across the night, here the display belonged to the galaxy. The traveler gazed upward in quiet awe. A gentle breeze carrying the earthy aroma of sage and juniper drifted by. Overhead, the branches of the cottonwood formed a delicate lacework, letting select stars peek through. As the last glow of day surrendered to true night, the traveler decided to walk a little farther, guided only by moonlight, starlight, and their own steady breath. A well-worn path led alongside the Virgin River. The water glistened as it flowed, mirroring the constellations in its softly rippling surface. The traveler's footsteps were slow and deliberate, each breath in sync with the low rush of water. In the distance, they could make out the vague silhouettes of towering cliffs, silent giants keeping watch. Twinkling overhead, the Milky Way arced gracefully across the sky, a faint band of luminescence bridging horizon to horizon. Occasionally, a falling star traced a gentle path across the darkness, vanishing as swiftly as it appeared. In that tranquil moment, the traveler paused. They placed a hand over their heart, feeling its soft, steady pulse. There was no hurry, nowhere else to be, just this infinite peace. From far off, a soft chorus of crickets provided a symphony of gentle, rhythmic chirps. The sound flowed in and out of hearing, weaving itself into the hush of the canyon night. At last, they found a cozy nook to sit, a smooth rock warmed by the remnants of the day's sun. Settling there, they took a slow, deep breath, allowing the crisp air to cleanse their mind. The sand beneath their feet felt cool and fine, slipping between their toes with every slight shift. Above, the moon was a delicate crescent, like a graceful boat drifting on a starry sea. Its silver glow illuminated the cliff faces, so they glowed faintly in the distance, silent and serene. As time passed, the traveler lost track of minutes and hours, lulled by the hush of nature. A light rustling in the nearby brush signaled the presence of gentle nighttime creatures. Perhaps a curious deer ventured out to graze along the meadow's edge, unafraid in the protected darkness of the park. The traveler allowed their eyes to wander gently, never straining, only noticing subtle movements in the distance. This was their moment to connect with the wild beauty of the desert night, letting each sense open fully to the world. Far beyond, a faint glow on the horizon hinted at fireworks bursting somewhere in the valley, but the display was nearly imperceptible in the enveloping stillness of Zion. The traveler smiled at the thought, a quiet reflection of national celebration overshadowed by the majesty of stars. Even as calm as it was, there lingered a gentle excitement in the air, a knowledge that it was a day of significance, a day of gathering and remembering. The traveler thought of families in small towns around the region, perhaps lighting sparklers or sharing stories by the fire. In their own circle of quiet, the traveler found a different kind of celebration, a moment of inner freedom, a bond with nature that transcended anything bright and loud. Here, in the hush of the canyon, each breath felt like an affirmation of life, a private vow to treasure the earth's wonders. After some time, they rose from the warm rock and walked on, following the soft path that curved along the river. The footprints of the day's explorers were still faintly visible in the sandy soil. Occasionally, the traveler stepped into those footprints, feeling an almost tangible connection to unknown companions who had trod this path earlier. A subtle feeling of community, unspoken and gentle, pulsed through the night. High above, the wind teased the cliff tops, sending gusts of cooler air down into the canyon floor. The traveler let out a slow exhale, the day's tension dissolving into the hush. They reached a bend in the river where water shimmered in a wide pool, and paused to watch the moon's faint reflection scattered across the surface. The lullaby of nighttime enveloped them. Crickets, the whispering current, and an occasional hoot of an owl hidden among the rocks. Standing there, time stretched out like a gentle ribbon, weaving the present moment into memory. The traveler noticed how the water's gentle churn was both constant and evolving, never the same shape twice, yet always soothing to the senses. They took another deep breath, grateful to witness nature's quiet fireworks, glowing stars, shimmering water, and drifting stardust overhead. Before long, they wandered toward the park's campground area, where distant campfires glowed like small beacons in the dark. Soft laughter and muffled conversation drifted through the air, reminiscent of gatherings where marshmallows might be roasting and stories are shared. The traveler skirted the edges of the campsites, respectful of the hush that nighttime brings. Through the trees, they glimpsed families leaning back in folding chairs, gazing up at the infinite starscape. The faint crackle of a fire, accompanied by the sweet smell of toasted sugar, evoked a gentle nostalgia, a reflection of simpler moments in life. Deciding to rest for a while, the traveler found an unoccupied wooden bench near a small cluster of juniper bushes. Beneath the towering pines and cottonwoods, they felt the soothing presence of the natural world, each trunk an ancient witness to centuries of change, each leaf a silent observer of the passing of days and nights. The traveler leaned back, adjusting themselves to find the most comfortable position, and simply allowed the night to wash over them. The bench felt sturdy and reassuring, as if offering its quiet companionship in the midst of the vast desert darkness. A soft yawn overtook them, prompted by the cooling air and the gentle hush of the park. Drifting in and out of reverie, they were half lost in their surroundings, half lost in daydreams of drifting clouds. The hush of the canyon, the faint ember of holiday celebrations on the horizon, and the silent vigil of the cliffs made for a tapestry of peace that few places could rival. Each intake of breath was a slow sip of serenity, and each exhale carried any lingering worries away. In the distance, a breeze whispered through the sagebrush, carrying the faint, crisp scent of desert flora. They allowed their mind to drift through memories of the day, arriving under the bright sun, that first glimpse of the park's towering walls, the way the sunset poured liquid gold across the rocks. Now, enveloped in the gentle hush of the night, the traveler felt a profound stillness within. Here, in Zion's nocturnal hush, both body and spirit found restoration. Independence Day, with all its lively celebrations, existed far away in towns brimming with light. Yet in this corner of the natural world, the traveler discovered a quieter form of freedom. A freedom from the ceaseless hum of modern life, a release from expectation, a gentle communion with the rhythms of the earth. Eventually, they stirred from the bench to continue their walk. Even in the dark, a sense of direction and belonging guided them. The towering cliffs, once silhouettes against a fading dusk, now stood as silent sentinels, bathed in starlight. Up close, the wind combed through the pines, creating a soft, susurrating melody. Stars peppered the sky so densely, it was like gazing into a vast ocean of twinkling possibility. The traveler inhaled the cool air, feeling the desert night's gentle caress on their skin. Their steps were measured in no rush, as if time itself had grown drowsy under the cradle of night. They recalled the stories whispered about Zion's rock faces, that each canyon, each monolith, carries its own legend, etched by wind and water through millennia. Under the moon's quiet glow, these ancient tales felt closer, as though they drifted from the stone into the traveler's awareness. The 4th of July might have called to mind fireworks for many, but here in the hush, the real fireworks shimmered above in cosmic arrays. In the space between each star, there was gentle darkness, a restful canvas that invited introspection. As they walked, the traveler felt a soothing wave of fatigue, the body's gentle signal that rest was near. At some point, they paused again, leaning against a broad trunk for support. A flicker of light on the horizon hinted at a distant flash, perhaps a fireworks spark from some far-off celebration outside the park. The traveler watched its faint glow and smiled, grateful for the quiet perspective of distance. The hush rolled back in, reminding them that nature holds its own brand of spectacle, one that is as old as time. The sky overhead, so vast and serene, offered a patient, ever-present display of wonder. It was a graceful dance of starlight that needed no booming echoes to captivate the heart. Tiredness settled more fully now, a gentle weight upon the traveler's eyelids. They found a final resting spot for the night, a private corner where they could lay out a sleeping mat and nestle into a soft, warm layer of blankets. The desert floor here was sandy, yet firm, shaped by centuries of shifting water. Setting up their simple space, they fluffed a small pillow, if only to cushion the head from the ground's gentle hardness. All around them, the hush deepened as night advanced. The breeze teased at the treetops. The rhythmic chorus of crickets ebbed and flowed, lulling the world into a dreamy stillness. As they lay down, the traveler took a final long look at the sky. They admired how the constellations seemed to whisper secrets across the firmament, weaving cosmic stories that have guided humans for thousands of years. The warm memory of the day's sun still lingered in the rock beneath them, as if the desert refused to let that glow slip away completely. Wrapped in a blanket, eyes half-lidded, the traveler felt the hush cradle them. Crickets, gentle winds, and the faint murmuring of the river not far away. Each gentle breath was an invitation to slip deeper into that dreamy realm of rest. They settled, feeling the body's heaviness drifting upon a cloud of relaxation, letting thoughts come and go without clinging to any. The sky's quiet grandeur and the ancient stone's timeless presence formed a shelter of calm, a gift from Zion to all who came seeking peace on this gentle night. Freedom, the traveler understood, can be the hush of the mind. Independence can be found in letting go of racing thoughts, in releasing the self to the moment. The land asked for nothing but offered everything: tranquility, wonder, and a sense of belonging to something immeasurably large and gracious. Much later, as the night carried on, the traveler's breathing slowed to a gentle cadence. The stars arced overhead, shifting with the Earth's rotation, and the desert began its slow journey toward dawn. Even though the day's label, Independence Day, still lay gently in the background of thought, it melted seamlessly into the darkness. Symbols of freedom became not the bright sparks in the sky, but the unburdened stillness within one's own heart. And so the traveler dozed, lulled by the hush, the warm memory of the day, and the soft promise of rest. The hours passed softly. The traveler slipped in and out of light sleep, occasionally opening their eyes to see the changing patterns of starlight. At moments, they might have heard the faint shuffle of an animal in the brush, a fox, perhaps, or a small desert hare. But fear did not pierce the calm. Within the protective arms of Zion, there was only acceptance of the wild dance that night can bring. Every sound was a lullaby, every whisper of wind a beckoning to drift deeper into dreams. In that sweet slumber, the traveler encountered no urgency, only an infinite sense of calm. In a dreamlike haze, they saw images of canyons awash in sunrise, a memory of what the morning might bring. Bands of pink, orange, and gold shimmering against those lofty stone walls. Yet the dream remained subdued, gentle, as if the nighttime hours stretched into a peaceful eternity. The hush was absolute, a loving blanket that caressed body and spirit. Even the faint hum of distant festivities seemed eons away, replaced by the quiet celebration of life that pulsed through the desert. The traveler's breath became deeper and slower, as though in harmony with the earth's own rhythms. Eventually, the traveler shifted to a more comfortable position, nestling into the blankets. A soft coo of a distant dove signaled the approach of very early morning, but night still reigned in the sky. The tiny crescent moon dipped closer to the horizon, bidding a gentle farewell. Only the endless sea of stars held dominion, anchored by timeless constellations that remind humankind of its place in a vast cosmic ocean. The traveler's awareness floated in that tranquil space between sleep and wakefulness. They felt a weightless gratitude for the land, for the holiday that reminded them of the many freedoms to be cherished, and above all, for the stillness cradling them now. By the time the first paleness of dawn began to trace the edges of the horizon, the traveler was deeply at rest. Their thoughts had drifted into simpler shapes, into echoes of nature's lullabies. Even as the horizon flirted with hints of morning color, the overshadowing calm of the desert maintained its magic. Freedom had become something internal, a gentle liberation from tension, a restful acceptance of this fleeting moment in time. Holiday or otherwise, each breath was an invitation to be part of something timeless and vast. High overhead, the last glimpses of the Milky Way slowly faded, blending into the pale canvas of the coming day. Now, as the final hours of darkness stretched on, the traveler felt an overwhelming peace. Independence Day in Zion had offered a gentle communion with nature rather than a clamor of celebration. Somewhere in the traveler's resting mind, the recollection of starlight fireworks lingered, those cosmic sparks that put on a silent show above desert canyons. Here, celebration mingled with tranquility. The traveler lay cushioned by the earth, lulled by the gentle music of a desert night, and cradled by a cosmic vastness that reminded them how precious each moment can be. Letting go at last, they surrendered fully to sleep, carried effortlessly on the nighttime breeze. The hush deepened. The sky, though inching toward dawn, felt suspended, as if the entire world conspired to prolong rest just a little longer. The traveler's breathing became so gentle, it nearly matched the quiet swirl of air through the canyon. In their half-dream, they felt the land's soft pulse, as if all living things shared in the quiet unveiling of morning. Time, so often rushed, slowed to a whisper, letting the traveler rest in the heart of Zion's desert night. And so, dear listener, our story gradually draws into the calm hush meant to guide you into your own deep, peaceful slumber. Imagine now that you too have found a comfortable space in this vast sanctuary. The gentle hush envelops you. The soft light of the stars, or perhaps the moon's silver glow, rests upon your eyelids. Every breeze, every rustle in the trees speaks of tranquility. In this final moment of wakefulness, let your body sink deeper into the bed, feeling its tender support beneath you. As your breathing evens, your muscles relax, and your thoughts wander like soft clouds passing through a quiet sky. Know that you are safe. With each slow inhale, accept the peace of the night. With each gentle exhale, let any tension slip away, carried off into the silent corners of the universe. The hush of Zion's canyon is with you still, inviting you to drift softly into the realm of dreams, weightless and free. Let this time be your refuge. Feel the comforting heaviness in your limbs, the soothing warmth wrapping around your heart. Each distant star is a small beacon, reminding you to trust in this moment, to allow yourself the release of a true, replenishing rest. The traveler's experience echoes in your own, guiding you toward that final release into the deep hush. Let your eyes close if they haven't already, and sense the quiet lullaby that night forever offers. You are ready now to slip into the soft embrace of sleep. No worries or cares remain urgent. Everything can gently wait as you float toward the peaceful expanse of your own inner landscape. Good night, dear traveler. May the stillness of Zion's desert night wrap around your dreams, and may you find the freedom of a restful slumber. Sleep well.